what is the single most benefit to me of being a healthier person, to having a healthier body, to having more strength, more conditioning, more mobility in my case? And it took me a long time to come to the conclusion that the most important thing for me, we need to talk about the results you want. We've talked about the why of your training. We talked about the fact that training should be fun, that we want to pick things that we enjoy doing so we can be consistent. We've done 3 days worth of training, building from 10 minutes to 12 minutes to 14 minutes of work. We're going to build on that foundation. But before we go on to 16 minutes of work, we also want to consider maybe, what is the result we're actually after? And in my experience, usually we start with the result of, well, I would like to look better, or I would like to fit into my old pair of jeans, or I want to run a marathon or compete in a CrossFit competition, or any other kind of endeavor that we might find interesting or lean towards. And they are all general indications of the kind of activity or the kind of image we have of ourselves and what we expect from ourselves, which we're not able to do with our current levels of fitness. I'd like to fit into an old pair of jeans, usually got something to do with weight loss. I'd like to look a certain way before I go on holidays, got a lot to do with shaping and the shape and size of our body and muscles and the composition of body. Or I would like to compete in any kind of competition, usually has a conditioning and sometimes also a strength component to it. And those are all perfectly valid goals, but the thing is that those outcomes will come when we start living a healthier life. So instead of fixating on the I have to lose weight, or I have to run 10 kilometers under a certain time mark, or I want my waist to be a certain size compared to my shoulders, or any kind of outcome like that, completely valid. But I'm not convinced from my experience that that is the one that's going to keep us motivated and keep us going. So when I think about, the wider result I'm after, what is the single most benefit to me of being a healthier person, to having a healthier body, to having more strength, more conditioning, more mobility in my case? And it took me a long time to come to the conclusion that the most important thing for me is the fact that I want to be healthy and capable and self-sufficient for as long as I can be in life, because the prognosis for life is that I'm going to get old, barring any kind of unexpected illness or incident. I will live longer than my parents and then most people who are in their 70s and 80s today. But the quality of life at the end of that, so we're very good at adding more years to the end of life, is not increasing at the same pace as the number of years, which means that those last years could be very miserable. But we know a couple of things today that could help us change that and make more of our life for a longer period of time. And a part of that has to do with the muscle mass that we build up, with the strength and conditioning that we have going into old age, and the habits that we've developed throughout life in terms of being active, in terms of staying well, staying fit, in terms of being able to care and tend to our own needs. So what I'd like you to consider is, on top of, the why we're training, why do we find this important, which was the first question. The second one was finding things that matter to us, that we enjoy doing, so that we can keep doing them over and over again. The third thing I'd like you to consider is, well, what is the real result we're after? And it could be an extension of your why. I'm training to be healthy. I want to be as healthy as I can be, both physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. That's completely fine. But maybe there's something else. And maybe for you, it is really, being in the best shape of your life. Maybe that is the key motivator right now. Extend your horizon a little bit, because at some point, maybe that goal is accomplished, which I'm pretty sure you will if you've been with this program for 3 days, and you intend to stick with it for the next 3 workouts as well. Probably going to stick with working out for a longer period of time. But once that goal is attained, what's next? Like, I could set myself a goal of deadlifting 150 kilos and could work towards that. We could schedule that, could put in the training, put in the food, put in the sleep to get to that result. But then once I do that 150 kilos of deadlift, then what? Because then that goal is accomplished. Just like once I run that time on a 5K or a 10K, then what am I going to do? And what I would like us to have in the back of our minds is, beyond those short-term goals that we're working towards, which can be really cool and really fun to work towards, what's the bigger picture? Why is this important in my life? Why is exercise, sleep, nutrition, strength, conditioning, mobility, why is all of that important in my life? So give that a thought. And if you have an answer, leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think of my program, of my videos. And if this is a new video for you, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Like this video if this was useful for you. I look forward to being on this journey together with you. Take care, friends.